guys, so this is a bit new territory for me, and I'm here because of you. So last week I asked the question, what makes the equestrian wheel toxic? To be able to get all of your responses in, I've had to migrate over to YouTube, so this is why I'm here. So thank you to everybody who has shared their stories. Some of them have been absolutely heartbreaking. So without further ado, if you haven't already seen on TikTok, the first episode for Be the Equestrian Change. I would have loved to have put all of your stories into TikTok. However, I've only got 60 seconds and this is why I'm here, because I want to give you guys the opportunity to get your voices heard. There were quite a few reoccurring themes. So the first one was from Carol Hall, which said, for some reason, the equestrian world is full of envious, toxic, mean girls from 7th grade. In my experience, every yard I went to, it was people who have always had horses and money. They always frowned upon us who started late and took to it naturally. I built bonds and trust with the horses before riding, and it worked better doing so. They would take the piss and sabotage everything to get one up. Anna Spanner said, I think it's because experienced riders often look down upon novices, which make us nervous and make us perform worse. People thinking they're better because they have expensive horses or expensive gear. The intense pressure of being super skinny and petite is so toxic to me. Equine Sharon 39 says, people just don't like seeing others doing well, and it's really saddens that we should all build each other up and not drag down. Jessie Bella, I had riding videos up here, but the negativity was too much. I felt like I can't upload any riding videos until I lose weight. I have been bullied many times in the equestrian industry for not being a perfect rider, having the latest equipment, or not having the most expensive horse, etc. This has led me to leaving the equestrian industry once and almost left it a second time. If it wasn't for my love for my 2 horses, I wouldn't be here. Neither would I be part of the equestrian industry. I used to post a video and turn off comments after seeing so many others being slated in the comments, and it made me feel self-conscious. So we're now facing a generation of riders that are too scared to post their videos of something they've achieved because their achievements are going to get dragged down. Laura Ambridge, I'm really bad with names, sorry guys. People don't like seeing others doing well. It's got to be all about themselves. G 2012, everyone being so judgy and not knowing what people are going through and thinking everyone else is beneath them. Some equestrians thinking the more expensive the horse and how rich they are, thinking that they have the right to belittle actual equestrians. No matter how good I was or how much I won away at competitions, I was never chosen to represent my town because I didn't have the £10,000 horse and float, and my parents weren't rich, so I was always treated like shit. Beth H said, other riders acting like they know what to do and they're the only ones that are right. The Fluffy Virus 2.20, like that name. People who discredit someone's experience and knowledge just because they're young, don't ride expensive horses, or have second-hand tack. I think the equestrian community and industry is so toxic because there is no right way to do things. Some people will look down on you for using pig oil in their tails while others swear by it. Some people ride in a contact 24/7, others couldn't care less. Some people think that horse boots are optional, others can't ride without them. It is mental. And I truly think it has become so toxic because there are very few people who are open to the fact that someone might not tack up, groom, ride, show, etc. exactly like they do, and they can't handle it. So they take it out on others in horrible ways. I always say I am a proud horse owner, but some days I do not want to be a proud equestrian in this community. Easy crafters, arrogance is what makes it toxic. Between disciplines, between riders. Emma Joe, 47, no one can ever be happy for anyone. Someone always needs to say how they've done something better. Erin Young, judging people off a 10-second clip online when they don't know the story. Charlotte Long, 0, made such an amazing point. Not growing up in the industry, I found it hard to be able to learn how to take care of a horse. I found the only way was to go to college. There's also a lot of stigma around new people in the industry. And yeah, people just say it's just a phase. Liv said, judgmental riders who judge your riding and your horse without even knowing you. Judging someone who is struggling instead of offering help. Charlie686, it's just the competitiveness. I think if everyone started looking out for each other instead of beating each other, more people would stay. Tegan Wits, everyone always thinks they know what's best for your horse, gives opinions when you don't ask. Eventing Storm, the fact I left my apprenticeship because I got treated so horribly by other members of staff and my boss. Kate Fowler, judgment from others for not having the best, not knowing everything, making mistakes, just constantly feeling watched, criticised and belittled. Caroline Smith, 888, jealousy is the worst. When someone has something anyone wants and they're horrible to that person and as a result encourages others to do the same. Over the years, I feel as though the equestrian community has become more toxic and no one has anything nice to say to each other and always has to say something behind your back, especially the way you ride or what you do, which personally I think shouldn't get involved unless you're doing something wrong or hurting your horse. We are all here for one thing, and that's our horses. To be looked down upon because of our weight, appearance and horse, we are all equal in this sport and all deserve a chance. Zoella 281, people shun people who are new to the industry and who don't know a lot and they feel unwelcome. It's just horrible atmosphere. 1610 Lucy, a few months back I posted videos of my riding and got bullied because of my ability. Shadow Wife 1, those with money make it more toxic, as I found there are lots of judging by those with money. I have found like it's the ones with fake money. When you actually get down to it, it's all on credit cards. Do it because they just feel like they need to show off, but really nobody gives a crap. It's the constant judgment. I don't own my own horse, but ride a riding school and people look down at me for it. Emma Howells 8, being spoken about behind my back, saying I'm a bad rider and I should not have 2 horses I have. My old boss used to bully me and the volunteers and several times started arguments with people, even when I finished college, wouldn't listen to my ideas. And then 3 years later, a livery was saying the same stuff as me, and all I'd get told was, so-and-so knows what she's talking about. That she's learnt from college. Even now, on the odd occasion I do go there, it's very hostile towards me. Even when I did a good job at the yard, the people they liked would get all the well-dones, and I struggled a lot with mental health. And I've been doing so much better since I've left, and now I'll stand up for myself, unlike before I just shut down. I've been doing this my whole life, but finally burnt out from the impossible workload, expectations, toxicity, so I'm closing my barn. I'm out. Lindsay Blutis, I near took my life twice because people in my work, after 20 years in the same horse world, 2 years ago nearly ended everything. If that doesn't make you feel sick, just think about that for a second. Some people assume you can only be a good rider if you own your own horse. We all have to start somewhere. Others always think they know better and can do better, but they don't support you. Classism, I got told I couldn't start riding because I couldn't afford a horse. The talking behind people's backs is what makes it toxic for me. I left the horse community because people are rude, judgmental and backstabbing, just so mean, ruined all the pleasure for me. Horses are natural to me, but my lack of taught education had others destroy my confidence, and I never again will have horse people in my life. There's lots of dishonesty. People will protect their pride before the truth, even at the expense of your horse. I left my first yard because the amount of bitchiness fueled by the manager. It got to the point I was so self-conscious I would go weeks without riding my horse. The yard after that, I was told my horse wasn't fit for eventing, when he was classed by the vet who said he was perfectly fit. And when I came back with a first place rosette, all I got was, it was a quiet event, don't expect to win again. Finally have my horse at a much nicer place where everyone is supportive and does their own thing, but I will never go back to a competition yard. Bitchiness at yards, that's the one thing that made me stop riding after 12 years. Imagine doing something for 12 years and you not being able to do it anymore because the people around you are so toxic. I hate the people that run you under the bus just because they can't beat you, so they run their mouths as if it's a reason not to work harder. The lack of respect for grooms and yard staff is phenomenal. It's an abuse of power and often results in being underpaid and verbally abused. People always trying to one-up each other, people always talking about you behind your back, and people not supporting each other in the success and falls. The thing I believe to be toxic about horse world is the judgment. No matter where you go or what you do, there'll always be someone looking down on you, being judgmental or passing comments about what you have or don't have and what you can and cannot do. People shaming others for just wanting to enjoy their horse and not regularly compete and be under pressure. Others judging someone based on their skill and what they have done. Experienced riders expecting you to know everything. Going in, they don't give you the opportunity to learn things and make mistakes without shaming you. Exploitation of young, passionate individuals for either work or free labour in the name of teaching them. I recently bought a beautiful mare. She was my absolute dream horse, and unfortunately the equestrian opinions and judgments forced me to sell her as I felt bullied into the decision, and there wasn't a way to convince anyone otherwise. Then I recently took on a young ex-racer with a hairline fracture, and the amount of hate I got for helping was really disheartening. I felt nobody supports anyone, and it makes me feel like giving up altogether. May Time said, I found a lot of bullies in the equine world. In the end, I was pushed to sell my girls. Worst thing I could have ever done, but couldn't keep going with the nastiness I received. It was causing so much pain and upset. Would love another horse, but couldn't face any more nastiness. See, people have to realise that comments make people leave this industry, and they leave on bad terms, and they leave with a nasty taste in their mouth, and that transpires to other people, and that's why we're facing what we're facing, this crap stereotype of horse riders. One comment amongst all that was, why are we focusing on the negative and not the positive? And my answer to that is, people who cause problems in the equestrian world need to be called out. Positivity is only getting us so far. The negativity is destroying people, destroying the image of what is a lovely sport, and is stopping people from enjoying a hobby. This cannot go on. I want people to know that when they see, read, hear a negative comment about them, their riding, their horse, it is not okay. This has to change. This negativity has to stop. And so before I go, there's one final thing for me to say. Online instructors, think before you speak, because you have no idea what riders are going through. To all the horse riders out there, people hold their breath in anticipation of your failure. Make sure they suffocate.